What's going on, guys? Topic came up. I was watching a video by a guy. It was on a channel, article motion, I think, and it was a doctor that said, I was a doctor. I became a doctor so I can help people heal. I could teach people about their health and make them better. I didn't sign up for this withholding information and partially basically making people worse. He brought up a point that made me think about the automotive industry in general. And one of those points was, he said, why don't we teach people in the wintertime that it's natural to take, it should be natural to take a vitamin D3 supplement? Why are we not teaching people that that should be a normal occurrence, taking vitamin D3 during the wintertime? You're in the house more, you're not out in the sun more, there's not as much sun for people, for their hormone health, for their cholesterol and stuff like that. Vitamin D3 is a critical role in that, but we don't teach people to do these things. It just makes them more sick, makes them feel icky, messes up their hormones and their cholesterol and stuff, and we just let it sit and year after year get more and more out of control and out of whack. And we just let it happen. Instead of educating them that just as simple as taking a vitamin D3 supplement during the wintertime, and then when it's sunny out and nice out, you can get outside and do more. That in itself is more helpful in a health perspective than just not saying anything at all and letting these things get out of whack, when you can take care of these things very naturally. I remember one of the technicians at work coming up to me and saying, my wife takes vitamin D3 every day just like you do in the morning, but she takes it with black coffee. And I said, why is she taking it with black coffee? And he said, well, it's the doctor told her to take it, vitamin D3, didn't really instruct how to take it or anything like that, and she just did what the doctor said. And I had brought up to him, I said, vitamin D3 is a fat-soluble vitamin. Actually, there's an acronym that you can remember. It's ADEK, A-D-E-K. ADEK. Those are fat-soluble vitamins. And when you take vitamin D3, if you take it with like a leafy green salad with some olive oil and stuff like that, not only are you getting your vitamin D3, you're getting your fat, the fat from a natural source, and you're getting your vitamin K2, MK7, just vitamin K2 in general, to help process and digest and get that vitamin D3 where it needs to go. They work very, very well together, hand in hand. Put a little pepper and stuff on your food as well, and that increases it even more. And he said, I didn't know that. I'm going to go home and do some research on this and see if my wife has done any research on this. The next day he comes to work and he said, dude, I was researching last night for hours and everything you said was 100% correct. And the doctor never told us any of this stuff. We didn't know that there's an actual proper way to take vitamin D3 in order for your body to absorb it and utilize it correctly. Oh yeah. You don't just take a bunch of pills and expect it to go away. That's how they keep giving you pills and nothing gets better, because you're not using it correctly, and they don't educate you how to use it correctly, because my doctor did the same thing until I educated myself correctly. And now my vitamin D3 numbers are beautiful. And then I get to thinking about stuff in the automotive field. The manufacturers teach people on their maintenance intervals that there's a such thing as lifetime fluids, extended interval change fluids, like for instance your PTU and your Tauruses, your Explorers, your all-wheel drive units and stuff like that in your SUVs and cars with manufacturers. Those units are typically hidden behind an engine, a transmission, or have a catalytic converter come across the top of them, and they just constantly bake and boil that fluid inside that unit. And they tell people it's a non-serviced unit, that you cannot service it, you don't service the fluid. When 30,000 miles, 40,000 miles later, that fluid is so black and tarred up and burnt, and all the seals and bearings and stuff inside that unit are just destroyed. You have to buy another $1,700 unit, another $1,000, $1,400 in labor, and you're left with the same situation again. Like, how long is this unit going to last? Little did you know that is not a lifetime fluid unit, and most of the time, 90% of the time, those units can be serviced. There is a way to service them. Or they tell you that your transmission fluid is 100,000 mile, 150,000 mile transmission fluid. Again, a lie. It causes premature failure a lot of times just after warranty is up, and you have no extended warranty to cover that failure. But you'll buy a new vehicle, or you'll spend thousands of dollars getting that vehicle repaired because of negligence. But because you're out of your 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty and you have no extended warranty, it's not covered anymore. Or you may make it to 100,000 miles once your powertrain is up and your extended warranty is up. Now you're forced to buy another extended warranty in case something does happen, or there is catastrophic failure and you're spending thousands of dollars to get it fixed. Or that's a lifetime, or there's no way to properly service this. I had a guy come to me and say, hey, I have an Explorer Sport, all-wheel drive, and I'm interested in getting the PTU service, but I heard that there's no real way to service this. It says it's, a lifetime fluid or something like that. I said, it's not true at all. Pull the catalytic converter out of it, pull the temperature sensor out of the side, drain the fluid, fill the unit back up to the temperature sensor in the PTU, put the catalytic converter and stuff back in. It's a more extensive process, but there absolutely is a way to service it. I didn't know that. Or I see in my handbook here, my owner's manual, that the plugs are good for 100,000 miles in this vehicle. Really? Have you ever changed the plugs on an EcoBoost engine at 35, 40,000, 45,000, 50,000 miles? And see how black and sooty a lot of them are? They're already starting to misfire, taking out ignition coils that cost $150 to $200 a piece. I think I'd be changing those plugs a lot sooner than that. Or the induction services that are supposed to be done every 15,000 miles because of a direct injection engine. How come we're not educating people on these things that either help their health or help their pocket overall? But instead, we're leaving them by the wayside so they can find out the hard way on their own. Where they're at the brink of death, or they're at the brink of financial instability, or situations like this because they don't have what it takes or the means to service their vehicles correctly. I think I'd be more focused on these types of things than anything. But we don't do that stuff. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about why we're not helping and teaching people more? And what ends up happening is you try to educate and teach people the right way to do things. But because they know it's going to cost them money, they've been bought and duped and brainwashed by manufacturers, by big corporations and stuff for so long. Those of us in the field that know how these things are supposed to work, or study how these things are supposed to work, or see the amount of failures when XYZ is not done, they'll still fight you tooth and nail because they want to believe that the manufacturers, the corporations, or the drug industries, or the pharmaceutical companies in general have their best interest in mind. I've got news for you. They don't. Just keep that in mind. Y'all have a great day. Be blessed. And if you need advice on a service interval, reach out to me. Do your research on the drugs you're taking or how to take them appropriately. Find somebody you trust, or somebody that's going to give you all the information on the questions you're asking. You'll be better off, my friend. Have a good day.